Hi guys, welcome back to Fight Bible. Brad and Joe, former UFC fighter, as you probably know. Today we're going to do some work on how to chase someone down with strikes. So if a guy is backing off, how do you strike him? How do you hit him? How do you make contact with him? It sounds easy, but for instance, if I'm here with Joe now, Joe faces me. Right, if I throw a jab cross and don't move forward, 1, 2. Now, like Joe did then, he backs off, ready? 1, 2. How am I going to close that distance to make sure my striking is effective?
Oh, big right hand by Scott, and he's following up.
This is an issue which it comes up very early in your sparring and martial arts career. You will face somebody at some point in probably your first lesson that literally shits their pants and only goes backwards. You learn to defend before you learn to attack. If you don't know how to throw a combo, the first thing you're going to do is get scared. As Brad comes forward, the first thing I'm going to do is start moving backwards. I am not going to walk into that, and I also won't know how to, as the hands come forward, to come in and clinch and tie stuff up. I'm not going to know how this basic grappling game, you're not going to know how to do it. You're going to just cover up and run away. So how can you capitalize on someone bitching out?
From a competition basis.
See, Joe, what I've realized over my career, over time, all the times I've learned to fight, there's also that one kind of fighter that only fights on the back foot. He doesn't retreat as such, but he fights on the back foot. Now you need to know how to close that distance. As Joe steps forward, that's when he'll counter. So we need to teach you a simple way, and it's not just boxing today. It's going to be MMA or kickboxing, or just MMA in general. We're going to show you how to close the distance and get in there and attack and defeat your opponent. So here we go, guys. Round one as such. I'm going to show you how to close down using some basic punches, right? This is just punches, not kicks, knees, or elbows, right? So I'm facing Joe. We are going to show you elbows, knees, and kicks, but at the moment, unfortunately, it's just the bombs of Brad. If I want to close the distance on Joe, all right, I can come in here. All right, now watch this. Instead of doing this, right, instead of going 1, 2, where Joe's able to retreat, right, as I come in, I go 1, 2, watch this back foot. I use the weight of this right arm going forward to pull me forward. Normally, when you throw straight right, you bring it back, bang, you crack it, you snap it. This time, as I hit, I come forward. And that also loads me up for my other hand. So once again, here we go. From here, Joe comes forward to me. So Joe throws a jab, for instance. Throws a jab. Here, I retreat. 1, 2, 3. Look at the distance I've closed. I'm now on the outside of him. You know what I do here? I've got a body shot here. I've got a check hook here. Easy as that.
The thing is, as I'm sure most of you have experienced, in an open mat area, you will be chasing your opponent around. Obviously, in a sport application, in a cage, a ring, whatever, you can use the borders of your ring to your advantage. You will literally physically back somebody up. But then the game plan changes, because if their back is against the cage, they might not be looking to strike. They might be looking to level change. They might be looking to tie you up. So obviously, everything is very, very different. But in this scenario, we're just covering the idea of a basic striking and how to shut this distance down, because the first thing I'm going to start doing as my opponent comes forward is start to move backwards. And my footwork might be all over the place. I'm probably not going to circle off and gain space correctly. I'm not going to swap stance and try and get to the outside of his outside leg. This is beginner level stuff. You have to not be a bitch, not bitch out, but like Brad said, this is how to stop someone from bitching out and make sure you capitalize on that range. First strike, I'm probably going to put my guard up, basically. So the first strike comes in, I flinch. The second one comes in, I take a step back. But he has taken an extra step because I'm expecting him to come forward like that. Typical hold his stance, working just purely off of a left-right with an orthodox stance. That swap to southpaw changes the distance. It allows Brad to gain a half step, which if you do it quickly, your opponent will not see coming, especially if they're bitching up behind their guard. Right here, boom, boom, oof, and there it is. That's right.
Actually hit you.
That's right, no worries.
Actually hit Joe back.
But it shows it works. I would have been probably running backwards, and you eat something. And you might eat one or two. You might eat one or two, but that's exactly the point. It's fighting at the end of the day. You cannot be afraid of getting hit. And if you're afraid of getting hit, you will just run away the whole fucking time.
Let's let Joe have a go. Right, so I'm going to hold pads for Joe now, right? I'm good at pads. That's what I do for a living. We're going to do it 2 or 3 times. And again, jab, cross, step, hook. And again, 2 more times. Jab, cross, step, hook. 1 more time. Nice and relaxed. 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice how I step back as well. The reason I step back is because he's closing me down. If I stay still in this combo, I can cut Joe off, right? But he wouldn't be doing that.
No.
If I wasn't stepping, if I didn't step
Yeah,
back.
if you were holding your ground, that's not
if
the combo
I held my
throw.
ground, yeah,
if I knew you were holding ground, I'm not gonna step into it because I'm losing my own distance.
You would stay exactly as you were. You would go jab, cross.
I'd probably come back.
Or hook, easy as that. Yeah. But if I step back, he's got to train it into his head. He's got to be prepared to go jab, cross. Simple as that. Well, I say simple. It takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, it's not. It's
nothing's easy in fighting, I'm afraid. So one little thing I'm going to tell you to help break it down. Remember our old Fight Perfect channel, or even on the early videos on this channel, shoulder, knee, toe. Watch. Jab, cross, shoulder, knee, toe. Right? I step with another jab, or straight left it'd be as then. Yeah. Shoulder, knee, toe. As I throw this hook, I pivot out. Shoulder, knee, toe. I always have my foundations below me, okay?
It's very easy to want to overreach, especially if you're chasing someone down. If I'm coming forward and Brad is out of reach, I'm gonna try and get him. Yeah, you're gonna get countered, especially if someone is running away and you start leaning and trying to catch him with these punches. They might be hitting nothing but air because your opponent is literally running away from you. Save your energy, wait for the gap to close. Don't air throw. Say that, but in lower end sparring, even if you're just pumping your jab out and throwing at nothing, it's still repetitions, it's still a bit of fighting, but it could be training yourself bad habits.
There's nothing wrong with running away as long as it's tactically running away, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So if I'm retreating from Joe now, Joe does that combo to me, and I'm doing the same, I'm mimicking him back here. I can also counter. This is when it starts going bad. That's when it goes bad. Or another, well, a lot of people think this is actually a good way to retreat. Joe comes towards me, I turn. I can no longer see what Joe's doing with my back.
Obviously, this whole thing changes as well once you start adding in extra limbs. Legs are longer than punches. And when you're practicing and you're building up, you probably want to end some of your combos with leg kicks.
No, sorry, Joe's going to throw the kicks now, right? So here we go. I was going to do this, but Joe just jumped in and stole my glory. Luckily, I don't like kicking.
Same combination, we're going to close the angle down, but the guy is still stepping away.
Jab,
Boom,
cross,
boom, we're going to step.
Kick.
We're going to kick to the leg, or we're going to come across the body. This is one of my favorite kicks. We covered this in the liver shot demo. By swapping to southpaw, you have the guy's liver perfectly open, especially if it comes off the step. Boom, boom, boom.
Straight on in the mic.
Right on the mic pack.
Straight on the mic, straight into my liver. Right, so you see what he's doing now. It is quite simple. And what Joe's doing, that's quite clever, right? So Joe's in there now. Right, he's going to throw the jab. He's going to step with the cross. Now he's switched stance. So he's gone left, right, left. Now on this left here, he's going to lift it up. Here we go. Now the liver is a couple of inches below your little nipple. This one here. Would shave it, I got real small nipple. Just below there, you got your liver. And that is where I'd always like to strike. I prefer throwing punches there than the head. Kicking there is better than a head kick. I think it's the ultimate, but each to their own. So I'm gonna leave that up to you.
I think it's a really good way of tracking someone down, especially seeing as if their footwork isn't perfect and they, like you said, they're back step running away. If you're gonna come forward with that little hidden step, you have both legs. You can either chop to the front, inside. If he's looking to step that leg back, or if he's looking to come up high, get it through. And the thing is, he's going to be backtracking, so he can't throw a punch whilst running backwards. Obviously, the better you get, yes, you can. If I leave myself open, the strike is open if Brad knows how, which he obviously does.
But that's going to be the next video, so don't worry about that now.
That's the next one, which is how to attack whilst going backwards, which will be in the next video.
We're going to teach you how to attack going forward.
As well, yeah.
The next video is how to attack going backwards. So don't worry, got a little bit confused, but he knows what he's on about. We got this, guys, right? We got this. This time Joe's going to throw a knee instead of the roundhouse, right? Now, if you ask me, a knee and a roundhouse are very similar techniques. If I do this to you now, I go 1, 2, step. There's the knee. There's the kick. See that again?
It all depends on how much your guy's backing up.
There's the kick.
If he's really out of range and say that jab and that cross don't land, and he's backing up such a bitch, he's well out of range, bosh, he might be still there. If he held his ground, you know, maybe you've run out of room, maybe he's not expecting it and he's bitched out and forgotten where his feet are, and we're going pop, pop, oh, he's still there.
Imagine if that was the face. Imagine if I duck. Do that again.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, if you proper bitch out.
Watch this. 1, 2.
Remember, guys, as well, we knee not like this. That's how women get taught how to knee. It's a hip raise. All the power comes from that, not from that. That is nothing. That is where your power is.
I tell you what, though, Joe's wrong a little bit. If you were there in a nightclub trying to arm some sexy diva, and all of a sudden she went,
oh yeah, if you're that close, but
you wouldn't be impressed.
No.
But if that was your face compared to this, telling you now,
nasty.
you wouldn't be a happy bunny.
No, absolutely not. So something to think about during this video, obviously whilst you're sparring, is if you are chasing someone down, make sure you close the distance. You're doing it for a reason. And if they're running away from simply just being a bitch, tell them. Like, there's no point in training with someone who is literally running away from you. They have to learn to stand their ground and take punches, but be gentle. I think Icy Mike once said something, you're only as good as your training partner. If you're just wailing on someone for the fun of it, 1, you're not gonna learn, 2, they're definitely not gonna learn.
They won't come back either.
And they won't come back. That's the worst part about it. If you just start going, you could brag about, oh yeah, I fucked this guy up in sparring last week, yeah, and I never even saw him again. It's like, have you just literally potentially ruined someone's life in the way that they came to a class wanting to learn how to fight, self-defense, everything in between, and they quit because you beat them so badly they lost all hope and ego from it, and then that guy goes out and
they're demoralised.
They're demoralised, but that guy goes out and gets his ass kicked in a place where he actually could have used and needed the skills he would have gained. Think about it when you start smashing people up at training, because you never know where it could end up. You don't want someone to quit. This is, we get quoted this all the time. MMA guys are full of ego and they're just style about smashing people. Martial arts is about integrity and the pureness of the sport.
So what about all the moves then in Kung Fu where you break someone's neck?
Apparently well, we know they don't work.
But what about all the moves? MMA is a competitive sport.
I've never seen a Kung Fu guy go to another person's gym and challenge somebody either.
Well, and win.
No, but
as long as I've got that bit in there. Because I've definitely seen Kung Fu guys challenge guys to the gym and lose really bad.
Very, very badly.
They lost, remember the Gracie's one?
Yeah. Oh, they fucking
that
destroyed
means
it.
a little editing clip for Joe now. So
I
know Joe hates when I do this, but
if I can find
Joe's going to edit a clip in here.
Hoist is just waiting to take him down. Watch. He's going to try to fake with the right leg, try to fake a kick, and when the Kung Fu guy reacts, the Hoist is going to go in right there. Oh, get him. Oh, I thought, okay, good. He got him.
Taking away from this video, if the guy is backing up, change stances. Icy Mike would completely agree with this, never change stances, but you have to hide that step. You're going to come back to your original step. You're literally changing stance to increase the distance on your strike, and that's it.
Did he say never change?
Yeah, he did.
Stances?
He said that you should always learn orthodox until you get good enough to understand southpaw.
Oh, fair enough. In that case, I'll take it back. Yeah, that makes sense.
Obviously, you've got some people who are left-handed, which means that this is their power strike. I am not left-handed, but I tend to fight off of my southpaw stance because I like flicking my right foot. I like kicking the front leg. And I think my right hand is faster, which I hide behind my jab a lot.
I always...
when you saw me spar last, you said, don't do it.
It depends. So I used to switch stances from time in fights. Yeah. And in all fairness to Mike, he's correct. Because all the big shots I got caught with was when I did switch stance. But I also landed a lot more strikes and a lot more unorthodox strikes when I switched stance. My opponent wasn't expecting that. I'm standing orthodox. So I'm here, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes I'd sit and switch, and I got a left hand here.
John Crouch in the corner of Brad Scott, giving very concise advice. Nice outside low kick.
The only issue is sometimes Joe will be able to counter that quite quickly with his own rear hand. If you just go back to your stand, if you for a rear hand now, boom, and that was the issue. You get caught with your own counter as such.
But like I said, if it's your game plan and not theirs, you might be theoretically steps ahead of them. It's a chess match. we've said this before. MMA and proper fighting is a chess match. It's a game of mistakes. It's not a game of who's better than the other. It's a game of who blinks first, who drops a guard, who steps in the wrong position, who doesn't read the other opponent's positioning correctly. Obviously, low-end fighting, street fighting, there's no such thing as fight IQ in a street fight. It's let it fucking
Balls
fly.
deep.
It's balls deep.
Yeah.
it's a whole different situation. We hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something you could take away from this. We're going to do a whole little series on this, how to fight whilst going forward, how to fight whilst going back, how to defend whilst going forward, how to defend whilst going back. All very, very important lessons. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop a comment below anything else you would like to see. Anything, Brad? Anything you want to finish up with?
Guys.
Perfect.
Like,
Fight.
subscribe, all
Perfect.
that shit. Perfect. No, we're not allowed that
No,
anymore.
not allowed that.
Fight.
Fuck it. Never mind.
Bye,
Bollocks to it.